sounding. And so you need to make sure that you're taking your tornado precautions right now. If you're in Joplin, Carthage, Galena, down toward Riverton, and just to the east of Baxter Springs. This includes Loma Linda. We're talking the Mercy Hospital area as well. So let's get the information. I'm going to get data on this very quickly for you here. So this is capable of producing a tornado. This is radar indicated rotation. It is moving northeast at 60. This is going to move through take a look. If we can go to max 2, Doug's got some additional velocity data on there. So this warning just came down. This runs until 8:45 in the morning. If you're in Joplin, undoubtedly the tornado sirens now going off. We have this line. Let's take a look.
I think it's on the ground.
Let's take a look at Joplin. Take a look at max 1. This is okay. Look at Joplin Tower. Take a look. Right now, off to the northwest, look at this. Okay, I think that's it. Right above here. Let's take a look there. Okay, so I think this is going to be our point of concern, is this location right here. We're looking northwest from 7th and Range Line in Joplin, and Doug's saying it does look as though it is potential on the ground. Let's stay with that if we can for just a minute.
It looks like it would be very close to Central City Road, so we're talking west side of Joplin, Central City Road up toward Carl Junction. But again, this thing is moving so fast. Does that tower cam zoom in at all?
I've got that one zoomed in. I can zoom it in.
Definitely see a lowering. Let me go back to velocity here. Yeah, this thing developed fast.
Let's take back to Joplin Tower Cam. I'm going to see if I can't get it to focus a little better on the zoom here. It's
definitely east of Galena, the Galena people. So this is in between Galena and Joplin, most likely north of 7th Street, probably very close to Central City Road. Carl Junction people, especially south side. Webb City people also, as this thing is booking north and east. As Chris was saying, these guys are moving 40, 50 miles per hour. Hey, I can see the notch on radar. If you pull up max 1 real quick, and I can show you exactly where this tornado is as Chris is getting that. So here's Galena, here's 66, right here is Central City Road. So it is now east of Central City Road. So it's in that gap just south of Fur Road, just north of 7th Street. So kind of right on the northwest side of the city of Joplin. This is going to head right toward Webb City, but you can see that inflow notch. So this is untapped air mass down here. So it's pulling right into that storm. Is it getting anything on tower cam?
It's difficult to tell. I've got our Cornell camera pointed. James, you can hot punch the Cornell camera by chance, even just take it full. It's difficult to tell. Cornell camera here, downtown Joplin, has a slightly better view. It's a little less obscured, but we're kind of scanning the horizon here.
The CC's come up a little bit. So it doesn't look like it's on the ground right now, but I bet there's definitely a funnel cloud, or at least a lowering.
I can zoom. We're going to zoom this in. Whoa.
Yeah, the Cornell cam is a great cam.
We're taking a look. We're looking almost due north at this point. I'm going to swing it back just a little to the west.
West a little bit. Kind of
okay,
northwest.
We'll come a little back to the northwest with this camera here and see if there's anything that's particularly evident.
Look how, when you stop the camera, so stop it real quick, and watch how fast those clouds are whipping. I mean, they are moving.
They are moving fast.
Okay, so, again, we have a tornado warning. Let's see here. Let me see if there's anything new on that. No. All right, so we got our tornado warning. So this is northwest side of Joplin at this point in time. You can still see our velocity. Little couplet. We're looking for it on tower cam. Let's go back and pull up max 1 so I can show you guys exactly where it is. Inflow has been cut off just a bit. If you can get max 1 up for me, that'd be great. All right, so inflow has been cut off just a bit, so we're looking at Joplin, but it's this little donut hole. So this is moving right toward Webb City High School. So this is right about Stone's Corner right now. So you may try to go see if you can get anything near Stone's Corner, because that's where it would be.
Okay. So we're getting some good lightning back behind the lowering there.
Yeah, there's a hail core moving into Carl Junction. But that would be our tornado. Webb City, need to take shelter. Stones Corner, Airport, Webb City proper, as this is pushing through. This is still radar indicated. We at least got a lowering. It looked like we had a CC drop for a bit as it pushed past Galena. When I say a CC drop, we look for this discoloration here, and that shows us where we are picking up debris. So it could be briefly touching down, or it could just be whipping in some stuff, some tree branches, but very serious situation because it can drop. We've had several tornadoes through the morning, but this is very close to Stones Corner and the airport, and is continuing to track north and east and at a very rapid pace. So on latest velocity scan, you can see this right here, and that's right where it's rotating. I want to see if a new scan will come in.
Wow.
Still
Getting some
got the
good lightning
hole.
Still taking a look at the Joplin Tower Cam.
Real quickly, Chris.
Yeah, what do you got there, Doug?
That's concerning too. Just
Yeah, okay. Sorry about that, James. We can go back to Max 1 real quick. Yeah, I see what you're talking about there with another notch there that's trying to form up. So I'm going to take a look on.
So we need to watch all those. I'll let you pull up Tower Cam real quick, and I'm going to.
Okay, so here's a live look. We're going to start. Wow, if you're seeing some impressive lightning here. This is 7th and range line. We are looking back approximately to the northwest. Familiar with Joplin, we do have it zoomed in just a bit. Definitely dark clouds, definitely low clouds. We have not yet seen anything specific on here, but we have. We are continuing to track this. What do we got here,
We
Doug?
got a pretty good correlation drop.
Okay, yeah.
Right about where Harps is.
Let's
Yeah,
head back.
there- yeah, go back to re-
okay,
yeah,
yeah. Take
we
a
got
look.
a tornado on the
Look at
ground.
that. We're
that's
trying
on
to
the
see it
ground.
from here, but my goodness.
Yeah, that's on the ground for sure. So you play with the Tower Cam. This curl right in here. So this is about where Harps is. So the airport, Harps, definitely have one on the ground. Or at least touching the ground. But this is now Webb City, so Oronogo. You guys want to start paying attention as this is going to race in your direction. So this is probably about ready to pass 43 Highway 2-3 miles north of I call it the Circle of Death, the roundabout at 43 and 171. So right there, so about 2 or 3 miles north, right where the airport is, that's a hail core. That's got to be on the ground. Anything new on that, Chris, from chat?
Nothing new at this point, other than just the tornado warning itself right now. But yeah, definitely seeing that, Doug, as you mentioned on the CCs there.
Yeah, Oronogo, you need to take shelter.
KOTV in Tulsa, they are monitoring that area of circulation you were discussing that's back behind this one into Ottawa County. They've got trackers on that one right now. Okay, just new information just came in. Tornado warning is continuing for central Jasper County. Still radar indicated rotation from this latest update here for that tornado warning. So that's what we've got. But man, Doug's showing you right now, and we've been showing you. Take a look at Joplin Tower Cam now. It is definitely racing off to the east here. Let me zoom it out. That's as far as we zoom out here. Our Cornell camera's kind of gotten overrun by rain. And of course, it's now moving behind the buildings in downtown, so can't see that very well from there. But there's definitely that lowering there. And I would say, if it's not in that zone, it's got to be pretty close. Look at that, and look at the movement. Look at the motion on those clouds up there.
Yeah, new radar scan would show it kind of in between the gap of the Joplin Airport and DD kind of. So here's 43, so Ivy kind of cuts here. So very close to Ivy, almost just due south of Oronogo, but it's right in there. The rotation is weakened just a hair, so I'm hoping
I'm not sure, but I think this might be it here on our tower cam. You go 7th and range line.
Yeah,
I think that's it right there. That's what we are looking at.
Or at least that's the tail end of it.
Yeah, for sure. It is, but it is continuing to race off. You see, look at how quick it is moving.
Yeah, so it's ripping into the north side of there. So that's the kind of the rear flank of it. But yeah, so you can't see anything on the ground, but obviously we've had enough warnings on the ground today, so we want to take that seriously for sure. Looking at the radar with that, yeah, that would be very close.
Got an update. Troopers overheard that the tornado is near Stone's Corner. This was just a minute or two ago. Storm spotter, tornado on the ground near the Joplin Airport.
Okay, so yeah.
So that's we're starting to get some information on this particular storm here.
And I would say it's just northeast of by the time that message got written in, it's northeast of the Joplin Airport. So I really think it's right about where Ivy is. So 43 to Ivy, probably 2 or 3 miles south. And then, of course, Ivy goes right on into the south side of Oronogo. Okay, new radar scan. I bet it's on the south side of Oronogo right now. So Oronogo, you guys got to be in your shelter. And of course, I'm talking to my wife right now. You got to be in your shelter if you live in Oronogo as this storm continues to push off toward the east. Clearing up, I think, from the airport back toward Carl Junction. You guys are looking a little bit better.
I've got some CCs on Max 2 for you on that side screen where we're looking around the Oronogo area right now. So that's what we're looking at there, and on velocity, that's where we definitely have that tighter circulation just right around the Oronogo area at this point. And again, we've been continuing to try and see it as it moves through. Our cameras can only see so far, and so we are getting to a point where it's going out of the range of these cameras at this time. But it is something that we are watching very closely.
You can see the CC drop right on Oronogo. So there's probably still one on the ground in Oronogo. And of course, we've had the history of doing damage with multiple tornadoes. So this is in Oronogo doing damage. It will quickly push off toward the north and to the east. So if you live in Purcell, if you live in Alba, you guys are next. You guys need to get in your shelter immediately, as that still looks like there's something on the ground. You can see Alba is just northeast of there, and then eventually Carytown north of Carthage here in about 5 minutes. Let's see here. Let me switch it back to reflectivity. I think overall it's gotten a little messier. I think it's trying to recycle. So here, if you look at this, let's see here. Let me draw here. If you see this little inflow here, so that's where the tornado is. So it's probably passing by Oronogo right now, but we may get a little recycling where something tries to develop out ahead of that. So yeah, we just want to keep watching this. But again, Oronogo, Carthage, go ahead, take shelter. Alba, Purcell, Carytown, that I-49 stretch north. This is now, at least the rotating part is out of North Joplin, is past Stone's Corner, Carl Junction. So that is good. Very intense cell, again, from Galena to Joplin. I always want to watch these notches because that's how the one that is in Oronogo developed, are these little notches to see if we get some inflow within them. But again, severe thunderstorm warning on that. Still tornado warning passing by. Let's see here. A little better look at this. Still looks to be on Oronogo or just to the east, northeast. Let's see if I get any correlation drops on this. Give me a second here. Yeah, so there's still a CC drop. It looks like a tornado went right through Oronogo, so right on 96, passing north. So right in here, so this is going to get over into Purcell and of course Alba, but still a pretty good CC drop, which tells me there's probably been a tornado on the ground, or there probably is one on the ground at this point in time. Here's 96, here's Oronogo, very close to Best Truman School as this continues to push north and east. Now this thing is rapidly moving, so it's going to be out of there real quick. In fact, the latest radar scan, now I would say if there is still a tornado, it's in Alba now. So it's past Oronogo now as it continues to push. And this is going to hit I-49 north of Carthage, probably 2 or 3 miles. Let me see if there's anything new on that.
Yeah, I just checked, and I haven't seen anything particular particularly new so far with this storm. No new updates out of it. Still listed as a radar indicated tornado threat at this point, but we've been tracking it with the radar data here. We're definitely seeing that. And then Doug, as you mentioned, that area you were concerned about, background downstream, still not as impressive, but still a little bit of a notch on that as well. And of course, we have the severe thunderstorm warnings that continue with this line as it continues to roll through the area. We're going to be dealing with this for just a little while longer out there. And just some other information for those who are out. We've got a car into the front of the community clinic in downtown Joplin this morning. 7th Street's blocked down around 7th and Joplin. Not related to the storm, certainly just a vehicle accident, but just a kind of a crazy morning. Doug, so yeah, there's a live look right now of this vehicle into the front of the community clinic downtown. So that's going on. And then, of course, we've got these thunderstorms. We're getting torrential rainfall.
Where's that at?
This is at 7th and Joplin. My wife works there. She was actually trying to get a hold of me to let me know that she works at the front desk. And yeah, that just happened a few minutes ago. So it was not thrown into the building by any means. It's just a vehicle accident.
Probably hydroplaned or something.
Yeah, and look at the water filling up now on 7th Street. That rain is unleashing now. And look at how fast that water is pooling up there on 7th Street. So that's going to be the other concern. Some ponding on the roadways, hydroplaning definitely going to be a possibility. Continuing to monitor all of these storms as they roll through the area. Again, right now, we do have that tornado warning that's in extreme eastern Vernon County for this cell that's lifting off to the northeast, and then another portion, you see the latest scan there, just updated. So we've got the other one that's near Osceola, lifting off to the north and east as well. So Osceola, you are in it. Stockton, it is to your north. El Dorado Springs, you are right on the doorstep of this as well with this particular tornado warning it's going through. So through 9 a.m. For the one that's heading toward Osceola, the one's up there right now, and 8:45 a.m. for the tornado warnings back behind that around the El Dorado Springs area. The one stretches into eastern Vernon County. So yeah, we're just getting new information. Another one from, this is northern St. Clair County through 9 a.m. there. Radar indicated rotation on both of those. Still radar indicated, of course, for the one in now northeastern Jasper County. Still looks impressive, and honestly, this whole cell looks impressive, and this is what we were talking about, is we're entering an area untapped. Instability's present. Even though they looked less impressive in Oklahoma, they were coming into some energy, and that is exactly what they are doing. They are tapping into it, and we are seeing that rapid intensification. And again, with these spin-up storms like this, the lead time on the warnings is very limited, and they can pop up very quickly. So this warning, just looking at the, tell you what, let's go back. I just want to look at the zone itself that warning includes in terms of community. So the northern half of Carthage, of course, Carytown, Alba, you're right on the far western edge of this. Dudenville, Maple Grove, Jasper, you are now in part of this tornado warning as well. Still radar indicated. It still runs until 8:45, but that again is what we are looking at. And of course, just a tremendous amount of lightning with these storms as well. And while we're not anticipating anything severe, as you see, we've still got development on the backside of this line, but not anticipating anything severe with that activity.
No, if we go back to Max 1, we'll take a look at this tornado warning. Good news here is we're not seeing the CC drop. So we know this isn't on the ground anymore. We know it was on the ground back toward Stone's Corner. We know it was probably on the ground moving into Oronogo. It's now north of Carthage. You can still see where the drop in the CC, but it's not that debris signature that we really usually look for. Also, when I pull out velocity, you can still see a little nugget of rotation, so about 3 miles north of Carthage, but again, it looks to be much, much weaker, which, of course, that is the sign that we want to see. Now, if we look at the radar, reflectivity, it would be right in here, but it just doesn't have that inflow, that low-level air coming into the storm, and now it's kind of merged with this back cell. So this is good news. Still a severe thunderstorm, but that rotation part of the storm has really weakened. And then it gets kind of messy once you go a little bit farther south. Newton County, we got this storm here, and we got this storm over here, but I don't see anything overly concerning right now. We're getting winds, of course, at 60 to about 65 miles per hour. Let's see, going back to the Jasper County storm, just to clear people. Carl Junction, you're clear. Webb City, you're clear. Joplin, you're clear from this tornado warning. Oronogo, you are clear. Carthage, just go ahead and stay in shelter for at least a few more. Alba, you are clear. Purcell, you are clear. Trying to think of any other towns right around there, but you guys are clear from the tornado warning, even though sirens may still be going off. This is now located north of Carthage, about 3 or 4 miles, but the rotation is greatly weakened, which is good news. All right, so let's go back south. First off, let me pan out here just a bit so I can draw a line for you. So severe threat. So here's this line. So we usually have severe weather at night. So I always do my go to bed circle. This is more of a, hey, you're in a clear west of that line. So most of the severe weather now is in northwest Arkansas, southwest Missouri. As Chris mentioned, we still have thunderstorms behind it, but these are most likely not going to be severe. Zooming back into Jasper County here, I'll pull up the velocity. Just these have been developing so fast all morning. You got to stay on top of them, or we'll get quick little spin ups. But again, not seeing any drops on correlation, which is good. Not seeing much on velocity, which is good. And then reflectivity, we're still seeing this storm now pushing into northeastern Jasper County. National Weather Service obviously agrees because they haven't extended this tornado warning into Lawrence and Dade County, which is good. Heading south, Cassville, you guys are under a severe thunderstorm warning again. Quarter-size hail, winds nearly 60 miles per hour, so this is getting into Cassville, down toward Eagle Rock, Roaring River, Seligman. You guys are all in line for that. Tracking a little farther south, we'll go into Benton County, Bella Vista to Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale. You guys are also getting a storm with winds at about 60 and quarter-size hail. Pretty powerful storm rolling out of Delaware County. So this is Grand Lake to Jay, Southwest City. You guys, we'll get into it here pretty quick. Intense line, which is pushing through, and this extends up into southern parts of Ottawa County. You can see the new radar sweep there. So we want to watch this line because it's working into this area, McDonald County and Benton County. Some of this area has not seen storms yet, so if you haven't gotten any rain, the atmosphere still, you get into these little areas that the atmosphere can be a little bit more unstable, and of course you get little spin-ups. That's what happened with the Joplin storm. It just rolled right into a region that had not seen any storms yet, and of course got a little rotation couplet. All right, zooming back in on this. It does not look good for a tornado. It looks good for not having tornadoes, but it just looks a little bit disorganized right now. Pretty good hail core, I would bet, just east of I-49. So again, Carthage, you guys are now in the clear. Purcell, Alba, Oronogo, Carl Junction, Webb City, Joplin is in the clear of this tornado warning, despite if sirens are still going off. And in fact, I would be willing to bet there is no lowering or even funnel cloud with this at this time. Still severe thunderstorm warning, Jasper County, Ottawa County. Let me back up here, and you can kind of see the progression of these storms. But tornado watch will continue to fall off Kansas and Oklahoma as we go through really the next hour or two. We're kind of on this back line here. Yes, there's thunderstorms behind it. Atmosphere is overworked. We can't rule out that if these get ahead of the front that we could see, a severe thunderstorm warning from that line as they push off toward the east. But really, I think this line right here, right along the I-44 corridor, that is most likely the end or the main show coming to a close, which is good. Zooming back in, I assume they're just going to allow that tornado warning to expire. Have you seen anything? What do you got? I see you got something pulled up.
Yeah, we're starting to get some reports in from the Nevada area. A tornado track has been reported from the south through east side of Nevada. Multiple semi-trucks overturned on I-49. Roofs are off structures, trees uprooted. They believe this track may extend southwest through Moundville, where additional damage reports have been received, and now just getting damage to 2 roofs on Highway 47, about 2.5 miles west of Girard, saying that a roof was taken off of the back. So we are, again, as these storms clear through, we're starting to get the assessments, we're starting to get the information on, what has happened out there. But still, obviously a very serious situation. Again, in those areas, they do not need sightseers right now. They need first responders. They need people that are there to help. So stay clear of those regions as you can through the morning hours. And of course, we'll have crews out there as well. So that way you don't need to go and look. We'll do the looking for you, and we'll do it safely and out of the way. But still, again, we're continuing to track all this, looking for any new updates. Nothing really new coming out at this point. Torrential rainfall from the storm in Joplin, even from our tower cams, visibility has been significantly reduced there. And so, just these intense storms continuing to roll through the area. But it's one of those things, I think at this point, no news is good news. We're not getting any extensions of any tornado warnings, any of the other warnings that are out there. But we're still not quite done with this line. So we're going to continue to track it here. Doug, do you have anything new on your end?
Yeah, we usually don't get a lot of severe weather in the morning, but we are in severe weather season, so you got to always take them seriously. And we've had several tornadoes that have touched down through the morning hours, but thankfully this will start to wind down. And of course, as Chris said, we will have crews out there looking at damage. We have KOAM Shannon Beckert, who's always watching this stuff. And then we have our noon show too here in 3 hours, so we'll have all that new details. Now I can hear everybody running around here in the building, so they're on top of it. All right, so tornado watch still in effect. So Missouri into Arkansas, still numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Ottawa County, Delaware County, Benton, McDonald, Newton, Barry, Jasper County. As of right now, I'm not worried about that tornado warning. Just before, I just want to make sure there's nothing new on that as soon as I say that. Okay, not concerned on that tornado warning. This cell is moving out of the region in St. Clair County. So if we look at this whole line, as they got close to that Kansas-Missouri state line, we started to break up into individual supercells within the line. And that's where they had the ability to get some inflow, some moisture, some more instability, and that's why we got the tornado that dropped just north of Pittsburgh, so near Alba, went up toward Arcadia, to Nevada, up to Shell City, and out. And as Chris mentioned, there is a tornado track. So that thing was on the ground for a while. And then we had the tornado that we had a confirmed touchdown near Stone's Corner, which I think it probably dropped farther southwest than that, probably just east of Galena, and then probably stayed on the ground all the way up toward Oronogo. And you can see how the storms are still lighting up. Now it's still very unstable out towards Springfield, so the severe weather will continue, and then it's really just going to light up again. A big day for severe weather to the east of us. Thankfully, we aren't going to have to deal with it, but our friends east, south central Missouri, southeastern Missouri, yes, they are going to have to really deal with that. All right, so let's zoom in on this here. So the tornado warning in Jasper County expires in 5 minutes. So it's just going to act like it's already gone, unless if something new popped up. Of course, it's been a kind of a wild morning. But if we zoom in on some of these storms, so we're looking from Golden City. So here's 126, so southeast of Lamar. So Golden City tracking back into northern parts of Jasper County. Very intense cell. So here's I-49, Jasper to Carthage, into northeastern parts of Jasper County, and this extends back. Carl Junction, Asbury, looking much better, even though you're still under that severe thunderstorm warning, looking much better. We still have a severe storm which moves right through the east side of Joplin. So let's say that right here's the 249 loop, and then Quick Trip, and then over towards Sarcoxy, and then this cell extends south just east of Seneca, Shoal Creek, and we can head a little bit farther south. So here's Neosho. You got I-49, so this cell between Seneca, Indigo Sky to Neosho, severe winds at 60, quarter-size hail is going to be lifting north and east at a pretty good clip as we go through the next 30 minutes. And then you can see even a little bit farther south, this is a pretty intense cell, but this is more of a linear line, kind of like if you were up, what we had at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, where we weren't getting much in the way of rotation, but very intense. So as long as it stays in a linear line, we can handle that. But this is moving into McDonald County. Benton County, so that's why we have the extensive warnings for winds at 60, and of course, quarter-size hail. Now let's look on the backside. We do have some thunderstorms. These are non-severe. We are going to get some thunder. We are going to get some lightning, so these are popping up. Probably not good to go through Crawford County because we do know that storm track into Vernon County, so it's not good to have thunderstorms. But these are pretty much going to be non-severe as we get on the backside of that cold front. So how long are these going to be sticking around? Well, it's almost 9 a.m. So let's go one more slide here. So we're going to go a little past 9 a.m. These storms pushing east of Joplin. So this is almost very similar to what we're seeing now. So let me go one more notch. All right, so let's go to about 9:30. So here in about 45 minutes, pretty much Kansas, pretty much Oklahoma, clear. Still, you can see our high-res model still trying to pop a couple storms that could rotate, especially Benton County, McDonald County, eastern parts of Newton County getting into Berry County. So we want to watch this closely as we go through the next 30, 45 minutes to an hour. And then these storms start to get into the Springfield metro area. So let's go a little farther. So here's 10 p.m. Most of our severe threat done at this time. Still some thunderstorms in our eastern counties, but everything will be racing east. But like I mentioned, as we get into the afternoon, then the radar is going to light up again central, southern Missouri, southeastern Missouri, and they will most likely get a pretty big tornado outbreak as we go through the afternoon and evening hours. I want to pull up I just want to pull up the Jasper County storm again, just so I can make sure we're looking okay with this. It looks like they're going to let that warning expire. I don't see anything that looks even remotely concerning out of that storm, minus the severe thunderstorm with winds at 60 and quarter-size hail. You got anything new over there, Chris?
So far, nothing new. And again, at this point in the morning, no news is good news so far. So that's just a look at what we do have active right now. Just kind of a cleaner look. We have those tornado watches continuing to drop off. So the tornado watches, Bourbon, Crawford, Cherokee County in Kansas, and then Delaware and Ottawa County in Oklahoma, and then the ones in Missouri. These are still in effect until noon, but again, as these storms roll through, we'll start to see those watches, the watch be scaled back a bit across the area. Again, no new information on the tornado warning for Jasper County at this point. They have continued, of course, that tornado warning up around into northern St. Clair County, but other than that, things are starting to behave just a little bit more out there, but still intense line of storms out there continuing across the southern portions of our area. So through Neosho, Pineville, and then ahead of it, you've got Cassville, Seligman, Monette, Mount Vernon. Now just beginning to push out of the Grove area as well. And you see, severe thunderstorm warnings in northeastern Oklahoma have just been dropped, with the exception of southeastern and eastern Delaware County. So that's some good news as these storms continue to move off to the east. In fact, a number of warnings have just been dropped out there. And we'll go back and just kind of get that broad view. So right now, here's the only warnings that we do have active are... okay. No, now we have. That's why they dropped.
A little too fast.
They have. That's why they dropped them, because they have this new one. So you remember what we said about the orange coloring there? It's a very broad area, but that orange coloring does indicate that the tornado possible tag. So this is now for until 9:45. So you're looking at Barton, Newton, Cedar. In our area, McDonald, Berry, Lawrence, eastern Jasper County, Dade counties. Severe thunderstorm warning, of course, with that orange coloring there, that's tornado is possible. Not saying there is one, but there we go. Saying these intense thunderstorms. We are looking at winds on this line here at 60 miles an hour, quarter-size hail. This line is moving now northeast at 80 miles an hour. And recall earlier this morning we had that when this line first started going out in southeast Kansas. We're talking about movement at northeast. It was out there at 110 miles an hour, which is just absolutely wild. But we do have this. So that entire area that you see that's orange there on your screen, that is a severe thunderstorm warning with that tornado possible tag. So it's really anywhere in that point. And that's what we've talked about all morning. Within this line, we're getting those embedded circulations, and that's what's led to some of these quick spin-ups. We are unfortunately getting damage reports from some of these. So this is something you need to take seriously. You need to make sure you know where you're going in the event of a tornado warning. If you're in any of those orange areas there, make sure you know where you're going. Make sure you know what to do in the event a tornado warning is issued, because there's very little lead time to the issuance of tornado warnings because these things are spinning up so quick. So this is really the best lead time. I know it's a broad area, but by putting that tornado possible tag out there, this is your lead time. This is saying in this zone, it is a possibility anywhere along this line that we could see that. Looking to see if there's any additional information, have anything else going on into our immediate area. And so some good news is again, just things starting to settle down. We do have a number of power outages across the area as well. I mean, I think that goes without saying. The majority of the power outages, we have a new tornado warning, which we're going to get to. Majority of the power outages into Vernon County, where they're reporting a little over 5,200 folks without power. Now we have this new tornado warning. It's the southeastern Barton County, stretching to the east out there into Dade and parts of southern Cedar County. Stockton, you are not in it, but it is just to your south and east. Lamar, you are not in it. Golden City, you are in this tornado warning. You need to take your tornado precautions right now. This tornado warning through 9:15 this morning. This is again for radar indicated rotation, quarter size hail. This is part of this line. So we're talking Golden City. We've got Cedar Vale, Stockton State Park, Stockton Lake, Jericho Springs as well out there. So we're going to take a look at radar on this and take a look at this just intense line of storms. And again, we just said that tornado possible tag is your heads up. Anywhere in that zone, we could get a spin up. And that's what we are seeing right now with this particular cell now into southeastern Barton County. So we'll take a look and see what we are looking at. Let me take that lightning back off of here. So yeah, this would be right around the Golden City area at this point. Not seeing anything necessarily on the debris tracker there right this minute, but again, you need to take this seriously. And as I mentioned, kind of going back real quick to that broad area of orange, this is a possibility anywhere in that line for a spin up. We're going to send it to Doug with some additional information.
Yeah, thanks for letting me get a little bit of a bathroom break there. But yeah, we are seeing the rotation just east of Golden City. So again, this is a linear line, but you get these little notches in here. So just east of Golden City, that is where our possible rotation is, or at least a lowering. This is a radar indicated tornado, so we aren't seeing anything on the ground. In between Golden City and Lockwood, if you live in Lockwood, I would go ahead, take shelter, but this thing is booking northeast 60, 70 miles per hour. So every time we get a radar scan, it jumps. So here's our rotation, probably 2 or 3 miles east of Golden City, Lockwood. I would go ahead and take shelter. Golden City, if you're listening, I would still be in shelter. But this is going to jump pretty quickly off toward the north and to the east. Now, radar, to explain that, it's live radar. It's always scanning this way and then also this way. So by the time it goes through a whole scan, by the time we get the picture, it's about 3 minutes old. So when you see these storms that are moving so fast, you're going to see a new scan. It'll pop right up here where 97 is. So northwest of Greenfield, probably 2 or 3 miles, that's where that tornado is going to pop up here shortly. But again, as Chris was mentioning, because our severe thunderstorm warning is all orange, that is clearly the National Weather Service saying, hey guys, we can have little spin-ups almost anywhere in the line, so just be prepared. If we track a little farther south, pretty good thunderstorm on top of Mount Vernon at this time. Heading into the west side of Springfield, we have a pretty good little storm down through Berry County, so Cassville, Eagle Rock, Seligman, and then down toward Rogers and also Beaver Lake. in eastern parts of Benton County. Now, this western fringe of this line, again, we can get little spin-ups just about anywhere. So let's take a little bit of a tour. So here's Jasper County, and we want to watch these little nubs here. So this is now heading east of Carthage. So now you're looking at 96 east out, so toward Avila. But these little nubs, these are the areas that we want to watch to get a little bit of rotation. So if you're ahead of that line, so extreme eastern Jasper County or over into Lawrence or Dade County, you want to just really keep your eyes on these as they continue to push through. Let's go a little bit farther south. So now we're going to drop into Newton County. So here's I-49 to Neosho. You can see the very intense storms, winds at 60. And of course, we're getting some nickel-sized hail. But again, you got little nubs on the front side, or these little notches. So those are going to be the areas we want to watch as it pushes into over towards Stella, Purdy, getting into northwestern Berry County. Let's go a little farther south. The storm's a little beefier once you get south of Neosho. So here's I-49 south to Goodman, continues down to Anderson, Pineville, Knoll, Southwest City. Very intense cell. And again, these are the guys, especially this cell, you know, toward Pineville, where you start getting those deeper notches. Those are the areas that we just want to watch as they push east-northeast. So pretty strong thunderstorm on top of Southwest City, and then stretching back into eastern parts of Newton County. And just to kind of recap for you guys what we have seen so far, and I'll do some drawing for you. We've had several tornado warnings. We had one a little bit earlier, so it started kind of just north of Pittsburgh, went through Nevada, up towards Shell City. We don't know if it was on the ground this whole time or if it was on the ground kind of periodically, but we do know there's extensive damage in Nevada. We know there's some damage back toward Arcadia and also Arma, of course. We're gathering all that information. That becomes a news story from this point on. Also, we do know that we at least briefly had a tornado on the ground somewhere from about Central City over towards Stone's Corner. Probably wasn't on the ground very long, hopefully, but somewhere in that Stone's Corner area up toward Oronogo, or maybe just before it hit Oronogo, we had a tornado on the ground. So we've already had several, and then there was a tornado on the ground outside of Tulsa. So this has been a pretty wild morning. All right, so you can see the severe thunderstorm warning. The reason it's orange, of course, it's that tornado tag, and we'll go through this again. And looking at the radar, so again, severe threat is really dropping Kansas and Oklahoma, even though you're still getting thunderstorms. So these guys are racing so fast. The reason they're intensifying once they get into Crawford County is because they're getting closer to the front. So they're not going to go severe here, but once they get into Missouri, we could see that cluster becoming a severe thunderstorm warning. Clearing out once you get back through northeastern Oklahoma, still the big severe threat is going to be for about the next hour. Southwest Missouri, the bigger severe threat is now kind of starting to shift east of Joplin, which is good, east of Miami. Really, this back edge of this line is where we are seeing most of the severe weather from this point on. We'll go ahead and zoom in here. So we're looking at Joplin proper. I want to go back up to that tornado warning. Is there anything new on that, Chris?
The National Weather Service in Springfield says that they are getting a strong indication of tornado developing in the Golden City area.
Okay.
Storm spotter reporting in Golden City can see rotation in clouds. No tornado seen, only upper rotation at this particular time. Not seeing anything impressive yet on the debris tracker there, but still monitoring this very closely. So this is going to be around the Golden City area, just west of Greenfield, north of Lockwood, is the area that they are watching very, very closely.
Okay, yeah. So it's that same notch that went by. So it would be right in here, but I would also watch that guy back there, even though that's in the rain. But that would be an area that, at least from the radar return, you can see some movement. So you can see some movement right through here, and then also back through here. So definitely, I mean, that's kind of how it's been all morning. We have several areas to watch, but this racing northeast of Lockwood looks to be 2 or 3 miles, but you see a big inflow into here. It's a very dirty or noisy storm, meaning it's not well organized, but it's not taking much organization to get some storms. And because this line is kind of converging with this mess over toward Greenfield, that may cut this off as we go through about the next 10 minutes or so. But still, tornado on the ground, and obviously spotters are noticing something that is turning out across parts of Dade County. So we want to watch